All right. Thank you guys for being a part of tonight. We've been doing this call for 59 consecutive weeks without ever missing. This is week 60. We have a special call tonight because this is the first time we have an owner and a founder on tonight's call. So that's really exciting. More people will join. We usually start at the 8:01 timeframe and we upload all these to YouTube so you can catch any of them. As far as all of it goes, a lot of behind the scenes things have happened. You've got JC and Travis doing a phenomenal amount of things at the moment. I'm not going to steal their thunder and say all the things, but the original idea when they sat down to talk with me was like one product, one story, one message, one focus, greens, and they were really hype on a 5 non-negotiable concept. Things launched differently than we had anticipated, and you know, there we had another owner come in and a coded bonus and all these things, and there was an NFT, and we can just talk about all that stuff, but it doesn't matter. It's the original idea is what got us here, and the original idea is like back at the forefront. More things have taken place. I won't spoil all the things just yet, but tonight I don't really have much to say. I just was hoping from a standpoint that conveying what this week on a personal level, the piece of land that I will build my forever home on came available for sale. And things got very serious for me. And I said to myself, this is sooner than expected. I am going to do something. I can't sit on my hands anymore. We've talked about that in weeks past, sharing with customers and things. It's like, no, we want to launch the thing and run it up really fast and create a bunch of stories and a bunch of checks and kind of get everybody excited and get things going. And I need to know where things are at. So I talked to Travis, I talked to Peyton, I talked to JC, and we had a meeting this week. And what I saw is like sending a haircut in the mail. You just can't. So I asked Travis if he could come on and try to send a haircut in the mail on tonight's call. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pass it to Travis right now so he can kind of give you an update of kind of like where things are, where it's going, the E-True Hollywood story. And then this is going to be recorded to YouTube so you can send it to somebody if you need on your team, and it'll kind of go from there. So without further ado, Travis Martin.
Kevin, thank you. Muted. Can you hear me now? Okay, awesome. Kevin, thank you so much for the introduction. Also, Peyton, it's good to see both of you. I'm actually on here. I see a lot of familiar faces and names, so it's good to see you here as well. Kevin made reference to how we started and where we're at today, and I had to laugh just because I understand, trust me, I completely understand the whirlwind that was the beginning of this company. You know, the way I say it is this: when Dan put this company together, he put 3 alpha males in the same pen, and we all were kind of fighting to see what would come out on top. It's a bit challenging when you work with the team, and you got 3 alphas who've had plenty of experience, a lot of success in our track records, and then trying to say, well, no, this is the right way. And here's what I'm going to share with you tonight. We have gone through a lot, and we have finally found the roots, the foundation of what we are, where we're headed, and what we're doing. What's a testament to me is the fact that even though we had some of these challenges come our way, we're still here. In fact, we've had the last 3 months the largest growth percentage in this company than we've ever had. It's really flying high in Latin America, Mexico, Central America in particular, Costa Rica, and even Europe. I've been actually to Europe already twice, meeting with teams out there. And I'm so glad that Kevin and Peyton reached out. Hey, they came into what is actually our new office. And you know what I mean by that is, you know, when we first started this, we had an office up in the Layton area. We had shared that with another company. We now have our own office and our own facilities. We were able to establish a relationship with a contract manufacturer. And let me tell you why that's significant. It's significant in the fact that we have the ability to really turn on a dime any of our production of our product. We're in the process of actually purchasing our own machine, putting it in this facility, and actually running it on a daily basis. Just the amount of growth we have. but also gives us a little more control with who we work with, and also the quality of that product moving forward. So that's a really big update. Those offices are now in Vineyard. Kevin and Peyton were actually able to come down, and we took them on a little tour, showed them what we had. Do you want to just briefly talk about that tour, either Peyton or Kevin, just to kind of validate what you saw down there, to kind of let everyone know what we're, that we're working towards something amazing?
Yeah, I mean, I can just jump in for a quick second, but it was, I think one of the things that, having had some experience in this business, like not only with this particular company, but with many different professionals in the corporate environment of this space, like there are so many people, as you've experienced too, Travis and Kevin and everybody else that's with us on the call, that there's always great concepts. There are always great, well-to-do intentions. And there's companies that have launched much better than we have that have fallen flat on their face. And so I think as each of us are making a decision to say, okay, what is our dream and where are we going to allocate our time, right? There's kind of this ratio of, time is our most valuable asset. And then we're willing to sacrifice it as long as there's a probability that our dream will happen. And so just getting a chance over the last 3 months to, meet with this strategic partner and now see his facilities and so forth and so on. The takeaway really was that, there's no knight in shining armor that is going to save us or make us. But what is going to happen is that it's, if you look at this, it's who are all the pieces to the puzzle? Who are the pieces of the team? And what is the infrastructure, of course, that's going to allow us to grow this into something that makes that probability of achieving those dreams, all but a certainty. And I'll just certainly say that it's like we are now in an environment where it seems like all but a probability or an absolute that we will be able to grow to really whatever level that we want to be at. And when I say that, I say, this is someone who's producing hundreds of millions of dollars in production, which means that we can scale up and down as needed, and deliver on the product, and also a full-fledged team behind us of design and of IT and of all the different things that we're going to need to ultimately transcend what we've experienced, which is, a startup with solid financial backing. But, how do we then take that? And like Travis said, it's instead of creating a sales funnel, how do we create a company that each of us can profit from? So that's what I saw. And I mean, it's kind of vague the way I described it, but it was really confidence inspiring. And I know that, Kevin's going to share some pictures here, but then Travis is going to jump back in. So thanks.
Yeah.
Real quick.
Kevin, take it away. Yeah. This is
right.
actually, we're able to, just going to step in here a second. We're able to really close a deal with a guy. His name is Gavin. He's the owner of this company. And he's partnered with us. They're a really large company. They supply for a lot of products, but this guy saw our vision and saw the potential that we had as well. And so what we wanted to show you is the partnership we've now created. But more importantly, as our teams grow, we've got the farm in Delta. Those that have visited the farm, I see Shaylee on that. She was able to go with us. So we have this distributor opportunity to bring people to the farm, and then actually now take them to the manufacturing facility where our corporate offices are too. And just so you know, as my background, my experience, what this does is just lays the groundwork of belief and faith in that we are going to deliver on what we say we deliver. That's kind of the importance of having the stability of that foundation. So for me, it's important to convey those changes that we've made in the company. And Kevin and Peyton, you can actually validate this. The energy at that place is such a different vibe than other places we've been in the past. And that's also essential, is that feeling you get, the emotional connection you get, that allows when your teams come and visit, they really have a positive experience. And that is one of the things that I understand as a marketer and a business owner, which is the emotion that comes with it is so important to validate the vision that I'm actually going to share with you here in just a minute. Any other questions, Kevin or Peyton, that you want me to cover before I dive in to our new presentation? Go for it. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen. And now what it says host is disabled screen sharing. You want to give me permission, Kevin, to do that? Oh, okay, well. Well, I think apparently I can't, I'm not going to be able to share the screen. Not a problem at all. So, what I'll do, I won't even go through the presentation. What I'll do is I'll just kind of shoot from the hip based off the presentation to share with you kind of the vision of what we put together. Let me tell you, when we first put this company together, we all know one thing. We know that we have I hate using the word probably, we have the best product on the market today. When you go to the farm, when you see how it's processed, those 5 different grasses, 100% grown organically, seeing the juicing process, combine it with the nitric oxide blend, the detox blend, you have the best product to start your day off. And we understood that. In fact, even through all the ups and downs we've had, the one thing that we had was some of the highest retention I've seen with just product purchasing because of the experiences people are having. The reason why we're growing so well in Central in Central America and also in Mexico is because of the product and what it does for people. Their nutritional diet is very different than ours. And having a product to start your day off with this product has made significant difference in the lives of many people who are now sharing that product with everyone they come across. Their diet structure is very different than what we have here in the United States and in North America. So it really has made a difference in them. So in and of itself, we get the great product. Now, the key is, okay, how do we deliver not only, and Peyton said it best, a company instead of just a sales funnel? I remember sitting down with JC, and I said to him, hey, JC, are we going to create a sales funnel or are we going to create a company? And we both agreed that we're going to put together a company, because a company allows for that stability to grow and to become that multi-billion-dollar company that we believe we are. And when that happens, what happens is everyone who gets on board, brings their teams in with that belief being high, you then start being able to build those strong teams, which also equates into a very large residual income and a very big check. So those are key pieces that need to be put together as part of the company. The other thing that's just as important is I call it the culture of the company. And, the name of the company, Against All Odds, one of the things we wanted to focus on was, how do we empower the individual? How do we give the influencer the tools necessary to build their lives and create the positive habits in their lives to let them allow them to be successful in a company like we've built? And so we have what everyone knows is called the 5 non-negotiables. And we've really put a lot of pressure on the teams to be able to talk about those 5 non-negotiables and to be able to run with that. And I'll tell you why that is. The reason being is a lot of us have habits. And the thing is, you have to ask yourself, what habits have I developed? Now, not all the habits we have are positive. We do have habits that are even negative, that can be detrimental to our lives. And so what we did is we put together a whole bunch of, through our experience, these 5 non-negotiables that focus on different areas of our lives that allow you to develop the healthy habits to be able to succeed, where oftentimes we find ourselves failing. And so most companies I've been a part of, what we do is we come up with a really good product. Those that were with Tahisha Noni or Zango, or, my other company, True Vision, we had a weight loss product, great products. But one thing that we didn't have was a system that allowed people to develop themselves. And our philosophy is, if you have a system that allows you to really inculcate some new habits in your life, and you combine that with one of the best products out there, you're really going to create that residual income based off of who you are. In fact, what I call it attraction marketing. You'll notice something in your life whenever you start developing a new skill set, and whether you develop new exercise routine in addition to a business or personal development, people notice and people will ask you. And that's called attraction marketing. The old model was basically open up your Rolodex, open up your contacts in your phone, and send out 100 messages and hope that 1 or 2 are going to say yes to you. And then you teach that duplication. Well, that's a failed model. It doesn't work. It's hard to do. You deal with a lot of negativity. But when you focus really on who you are and who you're becoming, you'll notice that people will come to you based on the changes you're making in your life. So I call that attraction marketing. So one of the biggest things we're doing from a culture perspective is focusing on the individual. So we have a program called the 5 and 8. Some of you have seen it. Basically, it's an 8-week challenge. When you sign up as an influencer, during that page where you sign up your information, at the bottom, when it asks you the terms and conditions, it also said there's a contract for yourself. We call it the 5 and 8 contract, where you're actually signing a contract that you're going to do these 5 habits for the next 8 weeks. And the idea is this: give us 8 weeks of your time and really hold on to this system. It's not hard to do. Give us 8 weeks of your time with these new habits, and let's see where you end up at the 8 weeks. And this is what I've told my business partners. I told Kevin and Peyton when I met with them, which is the one thing that if people ever leave this company, they're going to leave a better person. You can't go wrong with the habits we're trying to create, and you can't go wrong with the product you take every day. So you've increased your life value by not only the 5 and 8 and the product, but just by participating. So if you decide it's not for you, you still have increased something in your life, which is awesome. Sometimes that most companies don't do that. And that's what I'm really proud of. But here's where we take it one step further. Everyone does the 5 and 8. The 5, by the way, Kevin asked everyone, it's free. The 5 and 8 is free. It's part of as everyone knows, there's no membership fee with this company. It's the price of the product. The 5 and 8 is a free app. You download it. It has all the information, has the videos corresponding with it. We even have 3 coaches that'll be doing Facebook Lives where we do the personal development you can plug into at no cost. It's completely free. It comes with the company culture that we've created. And when you plug into that, we're going to walk you through those 8 weeks. But here's the cool thing. So everyone does the 5 and 8. Everyone does the 8-week program. When you're finished with the 8-week program, what's next? That's the question everyone asks. And this is where I actually sat down with Peyton. I don't know. I'm going to give Peyton some credit here. I sat down with Peyton, and Peyton and I talked about culture being so important in a company. And so we said, let's put together a power weekend, starting with a Friday, ending on a Saturday, where we teach you to choose your own 5 non-negotiables. So the first 5 and 8 is everyone's doing the same thing. We're all marching to the same beat, doing the same activities for 8 weeks. You're teaching your teams how to do it. You're plugging them into the groups, keeping them active for 8-week time. They're taking the product every day. We have challenges throughout the 5 and 8. But then when you finish, the key is then, okay, let's take it let's take it up a level. Let's put you in our 5 non-negotiable weekend. And this is where you're going to have the coaches live in person, where we're going to do things like an ice bath, and teach you overcoming fears. We're going to teach you how we're going to have someone come in and teach us how to cook, how to plan out a food schedule. Once again, focusing on you and the new habits you've already created through that 8-week program. But now you've got the ability to dig deep, find out who you really are, and be able to choose your own 5 non-negotiables. But the key thing is this: you have got to be accountable to that. And so we are going to put you with someone who's going to make sure your 5 non-negotiables that you put together are also something you're doing every day until the next event. And then we can take it up a level from there. But the idea is that you are on this journey to be able to improve the different habits in your life, to show the success. And once again, focus on attraction marketing, not on just opening your Rolodex and trying to get 3 people who get 3 people. I'm not trying to diss on that system. And don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say that's a negative. I'm just trying to say in today's world with social media and the way that people show up, it's a very different environment. And if you're doing these 5 non-negotiables, if you're touting the system, people are going to come to you and ask you what you're doing. We've already proven the concept. We've proven that when people do the 5 non-negotiables, they do get asked, what is this? What are you doing? And interestingly enough, you'd be surprised how many people are interested in a challenge. And then when you throw a product on top of that, like ours, when you educate them on how the greens are juiced, the detox formula, the nitric oxide, how those fight the 3 biggest diseases in the world today, and it's a reason to start your day off. You combine all that together and you're seeing a complete system that allows you to duplicate and to run while at the same time, and this is my favorite part, while you are developing yourself. I've been in this industry 26 years. I'm just going to give you a little bit of my background. 26 years, worked for some very large companies from an executive standpoint. Tahisha and Onizengo. I was with them from the beginning, I was with them when they did their first million to when they did 500 million. I saw that whole process along the way. I started my own company, my weight loss company, there from the first dollar to $100 million. And I'll tell you, the one thing that I always saw was leaders always had their own systems. And those with systems always seemed to do best. But these systems were always based off of a recruiting model. I was able to work with some individuals who worked on a personal development, like you go to Eric Worre's event. And when you see that personal development, that is what attracts people. And that is what we are trying to, no, that's not what we're trying to. It's what we're doing here at Against All Odds, is putting together a system that allows you to develop habits, healthy habits, to be successful in any aspect of your life. Because the 5 non-negotiables are diet, nutrition. Number 2, it's physical exercise. Number 3, business and finance. In the business and finance, what we're asking you to do is to take 1 hour out of your day, complete focus, and focus on your business. You would be amazed what you can accomplish by focusing 1 hour on any task. And if you'll start thinking about your customers, you'll start thinking about your team members. I know when I've done this myself, I reach out to people I wouldn't even thought of reaching out to, just to say, hey, thinking of you, thank you for all you do. That thank you goes so much further than, hey, what are you doing? Do you want to join a company? There's just so many ways. I'm just telling you that you'll find that 1 hour of time will just make a big difference. Number 4, personal development. Reading books, being in a group that we're actually talking about personal development. You'll see the Facebook group that we have with these coaches that actually focus on books that we're reading and personal development tasks that we're putting together. And the last is accountability. And this is the app that's free. It's no charge. It's in the, the App Store. And basically it's the ability to go in and just say, check, I've done these. And we're going to reward you with recognition based off of you accomplishing those 5 non-negotiables. That's what we want to reward you with. Now, of course, we also want to reward you with some of the structure, getting 3 people who get 3 people. But we believe that happens through your developing of yourself, and you're going to find other people doing the same thing. And that's the duplication process, is focusing on your development and finishing that out. Let me just finish with this, Kevin, and I'll turn it back to you. The thing about the accountability, why it's so important, there's a study I read in Harvard. Is the Harvard Business Review. It talked about the fitness trackers that people wear. Those of you are probably familiar with them. Here's what they found out. When you have a fitness tracker and you join a group that people are watching, you finish your task 80% of the time. When you have a personal tracker and you don't join a group, those that don't and not being watched finish their tasks 20% of the time. This is the importance of accountability. It's the importance of being seen. It's the importance of being in a group. When you're held accountable, when other team members are held accountable, and you're going to be able to finish that out based off of the group that, like here tonight, as we start our 5 and 8 together with Kevin and as a team, you're going to see that accountability really play into the success that you're having in this business. So Kevin, I know I talk fast, I talk long. I don't want to steal all the thunder, but I hope that I covered the areas. If I missed anything, please let me know. Peyton as well, let me know what I also could talk about. But I wanted to share kind of the new vision, the actual vision we have of this company moving forward. And because we have finally nailed it down, you're seeing the success that we knew we were capable of having. And I want to personally let you all know, I apologize for that whirlwind we went through. I want you to know it was just as stressful for me as an owner. When you see it being torn apart, when you see all the things going wrong, it hurts, because, not only do I have an emotional investment, I also have a financial investment into it. And it's frustrating. And I understand even on your side, it's just as equally frustrating. And Kevin, let me tell you something about Kevin and Peyton being great leaders. Kevin held us accountable. I remember Kevin came into the office and he held us accountable. He stood his ground. He said, we didn't keep our promises. You did this, you did this, you did this. And I'll tell you what, that is a good leader who can call out an owner and say, you guys messed up. And I'm here to say, Kevin, you're right. We did. And I see Kevin over there making those faces, but it's true. It really happened. I'll never forget that conversation. It was me, JC, and Dan, and Kevin just laid it out for us. And ever since then, we have got our act together. And it was my pleasure, honestly, to bring Kevin and Peyton to this new office, to the new energy, to the new presentation, to having me on this call so I can share with you what we're doing as a company, how we're seeing the duplication, the success, and the success happening. And here's the deal, guys. We're ready to run, and we're ready to run with this group, and we're ready to run with Kevin and Peyton. And I can't be more excited to work with this team than I have been in the past. I thoroughly, and I mean this sincerely, I've been in this industry a long time, and often you work with people that you have to work with. I enjoy working with Peyton and Kevin. I thoroughly enjoy it. I like them. When I see them, I smile. I feel good. And the fact that we can have a sit down where Kevin calls us out tells us that's the kind of relationship we have. And that's a good thing. I see Kevin over there making those faces. But it's a real story. It really happened, and that's a good leader you guys have. So I just want to just say thank you, Kevin and Peyton, for holding us accountable, holding our feet to the fire. And I hope that you see the changes that we've made are in step with what the vision was originally. And I just want to thank you all for joining me here tonight. I am here to answer questions. And Kevin, I'll let you take it over from here. And if I did leave anything out, let me know. I'm here to address those.
Man, thank you, Travis, on that. I'm like, he was very gracious. That I was just trying so hard not to yell and get all mad, and I was not happy, and I didn't hold anything back. And he was nice the way he said it. But I mean, hey, like I thought we came here to do something big. I didn't know we were. Anyways, that's. I was starting to take the control of the screen and share that video. Did you guys see that, or when somebody started talking, did it change screens? Did you see that video all already? Kind of played it through, so that's good. I could show you a super fast like slide deck if you want to just kind of get an idea what the share screen is. If you want to see that.
And you know, Kevin, one thing I can always do a presentation maybe next week or weekend. I think we're going to do a presentation in English, a US version at 7 o'clock on Wednesday. I'll send you the link. So those that want to see the new presentation, I'll send that link out. Let's have you join that call. You can kind of see the direction that we're going and the emotion that, basically what we're trying to do and trying to accomplish. That'll be Wednesday at 7 o'clock. I'll give the link to Kev. Kev will send it out to all you guys. Join us for that call. Just take a peek, listen to what we're doing. And obviously I can be on any time, a call with anyone. We welcome you to come down to the office. It's in Vineyard. Kevin and Peyton have been there, but we want you to be a part of that. We want to see your faces, and we want to build you. We want to build with you. And we're excited once again to see this. We are experiencing great, really amazing momentum. So it tells me that what we're doing is good. We just need to relaunch this US market and this team. And I think we'll see some huge success based on what we're doing.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to just jump in and kind of wrap us up here because and then if anybody wants to kind of like ask any questions for Travis in the chat, or if anybody wants to have a dialogue, we'll stop the recording. But, one of my specialties basically is creating game plans for people to actually take good concepts and then to go and create momentum with them. Right. And so that's something that the goal basically is to say, Travis wanted to come on and basically, even when we were with him down in Vineyard, he was basically saying, hey, if it has seemed like we've been quiet for a couple months, it's because we've been doing so many things here. And one of the things that really struck me is that when you see the presentation, it's not like it's radically different from what some of the conversations that we've had over the last year. But what it is now is it's clear and it's tight. And of all the conversations that we've had together as a team and individually, as we've talked about goal setting, financial goals, I think it's worth saying basically that what has been created in just the last month. So the sales numbers that they've achieved in November, if any person on this call was sitting on that organization right now, you'd be getting very close to probably a pretty nice financial goal that you have for yourself. So we're not talking about like, 25 customers came in, or, sales, or someone made $500. Like now we're starting to see some, to the tune of hundreds of thousands of dollars of sales per month. We're starting to see thousands of people joining the company. And that's what you basically, one of my first mentors basically said, if you're a professional in this, you don't know how it's going to happen, who it's going to happen through, or when it's going to happen, but you do know that it is going to happen. And so that is happening. And now it's up to us basically to say, it's time to get ours and to capitalize on the global growth of the company as it happens, because everybody that's with us on this screen, everybody that's been with us over the last month or over the last year, not only are we here to get our own personal goals, but we can tap into these founders pools. We can tap into these global overrides. Like the opportunity is still so rich. So to answer the question in the chat, Dan is still a silent partner in the company. So yeah, there hasn't been any disruption that way. But what I want to end with is this, is that when you go through the development of a company and you kind of get bruised along the way, sometimes you can become reluctant to want to share the message, because I know for me it's like a trust issue. You're like, okay, great, like, so how are things really going to be different now? And so that's why Travis is really inviting you to come and see the presentation Wednesday night, right? Feel that out, be a fly on the wall, be a spectator. The next thing that you want to do is what I would encourage is, with this 5 and 8 program, the idea really is that, it's not like you want to start on a Thursday and then you're like just telling everybody like, oh, hey, I'm doing this thing now. That's going to be part of it. But what you really want to do is you want to take the opportunity to say, hey, these are the questions that I'm asking myself. These are the questions that I'd be asking you. Are you making the same New Year's goal for your health this year that you've made, before? Like, are you making the same New Year's resolution that you made for the last 10 years? Like, are you waking up every day feeling good for real? Like, do you feel sharp, energized? Do you feel like abundant in energy and in spirit? And if you're not, like, can we make an agreement that we're going to do something about it this year, right? And it can be on January 1st, it could be on January 15th, it could be on December 20th, right? But then what we know is that what if you did that with a couple people that you're close to? The conversation to say is like, dude, how are you feeling these days? It's been crazy. The last 3 years have been crazy. We had COVID, and then we had shutdowns, and then we had lockdowns, and people gained weight, and then they came back out of hiding. And then, this year the economy's been crazy, and so forth and so on. But like, how are you feeling? How is your health? And saying, I'm going to do a program starting at the beginning of the year. I'm going to just focus on 5 key things. We're going to take a really good greens product and do that. You do want to do it with me. And that would be an amazing way. So I would say, start thinking about who would you want to do something with, even if it's 3, even if it's 5, even if it's 7 people. Then we're going to look at the presentation on Wednesday. And then what we can do over the next couple of weeks is that we can start to invite and maybe make a pact with yourself that you're not going to blow your nutrition away over the holidays, over December, and say, what if you started asking people like, hey, do you want to be in an accountability group so that we don't eat 20 servings of pie, at Christmas this year? So it's like, wouldn't it be cool if you were already in your weight loss journey right now rather than on January 1st? And these are the kind of ideas that you're going to have. You're going to make a motion. We're going to all band in together. And we're going to start to get those key things going. The growth will happen no matter what. 5 or 10 people focused on a key core group of metrics and making good invitations. That does create sales. That does create growth. So that would be my proposal. Basically, start thinking about, is this year going to be just like, is 2024 going to be like 23 or 22 or 21? Or is it going to be different? What if 2024, what if the first quarter of 2024 is the year that you actually say, you know what, I decided to get my health under control, and that created opportunity for me. So if you're feeling that, say I, and then to go one step further, listen to the call Wednesday night. And then if you want to, maybe next week on this call, we can start to make an actual game plan to campaign people into that 5 and 8. And what Travis and JC are going to help us with is that the people that want to do that Q1 first quarter, going into the new year, then we're going to put a big carrot and a really beautiful event somewhere in the late winter, early spring that can be something that everybody can capitalize on and create some of those growth stories so that, by the time it's May or by the time it's April, we're talking about the newest person in this team that is creating hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales volume, just like these guys in Costa Rica are. We're now talking about multiple 5-figure per month people in the company. That has happened. That's a reality now. So that's my bit. And then I think Kevin will probably close the recording, and anything that anybody else wants to bring up now would be the time to do it. So appreciate it, guys.